This time on Roadkill Garage, it's a 600 horsepower big block swap.
Let's burn some rubber.
That was pretty good. Hot Rod Garage meets Roadkill Garage.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. So now it can be revealed. My grand scheme.
Tell me about it.
So you know how I'm into land speed racing?
Yeah, sure.
I am dying to set records at El Mirage, and they have classes there for pickup trucks. So I had this scheme that I could build a truck to set a record, and that's why I got the long bed. But then,
Yeah.
Tony and Lucky on Hot Rod Garage got this 67 C10, and it was a long bed, and they shortened it up and everything. And so I was like, ooh.
That's really, really nice.
And I collected it. So my scheme right now is the long bed becomes the race push truck and tow vehicle, and the short bed becomes the land speed race top speed vehicle.
I can see it now. Freiburger, that's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I thought you weren't gonna like it.
No, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, you're towing the Land Speed 67 Chevy C10 with a long bed.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
perfect.
the problem is that 292 is not gonna cut it, and so,
No.
you know that 454 we've been testing on Engine Masters that makes like 630 horsepower?
Yeah. Right in there?
Yeah,
I like it.
that's the plan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Don't hit the Dulcich.
Yeah.
You know what the great thing is about wrenching on a pickup?
What?
You throw everything in the bed.
I know.
This truck came factory with this 292 cubic inch inline six. It's the same engine family as like the Novas. This one has a taller deck height for more stroke. It's cool for like a little lightweight hot rod or maybe an early Nova or something like that. And it's really great for a drive around pickup truck. It is not great for towing. So, bye-bye. Another reason we're gonna pull this engine out is it runs terrible. Sounds like it's down one cylinder, and just to know what kind of condition it's in for the future, we're gonna pull all the spark plugs out and run a compression check, see if it's got a dead hole.
I see it probably does.
Here's your guy, number 4, basically not firing.
Ooh, yuck.
Yeah, that one's garb.
I was gonna just do something amazing with a zip tie.
Really?
We should come up with a name for doing something like that.
Is this gonna be the Roadkill Garage zip tie moment?
I think so, because one of the things I learned was when doing a compression check, you want the throttle wide open.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, if you don't have that buddy inside the cab to step on the gas, you'll have your little buddy right here.
I just usually take the throttle return spring and flip it to the other side.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I would save wasting a zip tie, but then we would be short a zip tie moment.
So what's gonna happen here is we pulled out all the spark plugs, we're gonna crank the engine over, and this gauge is gonna tell us what cylinder PSI that it's seeing. And what we're gonna find is that there's gonna be 4 good ones, 1 sub-average one, and 1 terrible one.
What's a good one?
The good one is going to be 85.
Oh, I was gonna say 110.
I've thought about 110, it crossed my mind, but then I
Really?
went with 85 because I think this thing's a turd. What?
What, 150? Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
How's that possible?
This thing's a badass. Look at that orange paint on this. This engine's brand new.
This one's gonna be down.
It's good.
Nothing wrong with it. This is a tuning issue.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow, this engine's solid. We could have fixed it. We're dying to know if the reason that thing had a dead cylinder was because we just had a bad spark plug wire or what the problem was. And so I'm sitting here with an ohm meter, which tells you electrical resistance. There was no
Terminal
terminal.
in that one? Huh.
This engine is brand new. I don't know what the problem is.
It is brand new, right? You agree?
Yeah, so
Nobody's gonna paint the engine in a pickup like this.
when we take it out, we'll just rest comfortably knowing that it's fine.
Right.
Continue disassembly.
Man, this thing's coming apart like butter. All I've got left are the bolts here at the back U-joint. Pull the drive shaft out. I think the tranny's all loose, linkage is disconnected, so. And we're gonna be home free in just minutes. the engine, she is ready to pull.
Why is it picking up the whole vehicle?
I don't know. Did we take the motor mounts off correctly?
This one just separated. Maybe yours is just stuck. Where's your pry bar?
I don't know. I thought it was here, but it turned out to be an umbrella. Yeah, there's another bolt underneath. Oh.
Oh yeah, mine has one too.
Like I said, we'll have it out in a jiffy. Whoa, I hear it grumbling.
Man, it works good when you get all the motor bolts out.
Whoa, what?
That's a little strange.
Yeah.
So the problem here is that we're hitting the harmonic balancer on the core support at the same time that we're hitting the valve cover on the firewall. And so Steve's gonna go get a ratchet strap and try and pull from here to force more angle into the engine that won't slip out at the last second and kill us.
Well, that's a distinct possibility, but I'm hoping not. Can you work the ratchet from where you are?
That's gonna slip right out of there. It's already on its way.
Oh no. That's really secure.
I don't want to be halfway up and over the core support and have that slip out.
Okay, I'll admit it's not that nice of a rig.
It's not.
No.
There we go. That's what we needed.
This is an ungainly beast of an engine. I'm not gonna miss this thing.
Not gonna miss the 6?
No. I thought I was, but oh, hold it a second, please. In the unlikely event that the bolt shears, then that whole thing comes out, and you know.
The unlikely event of a water landing.
This is gonna give it a fail safe. So I'm gonna climb into the engine bay.
And risk your life? You count it off.
Ready?
On 3? Okay. You're already going.
Yeah.
Ow! Look at the grease pins.
Oh, sorry.
Tell me when.
Go. Ah, it's good, it's good.
Okay. Great.
There was no crisis involved.
No.
So the 6-cylinder is out. Man, I'm not in love with that thing. It's heavy, it's underpowered, it's got a 2-speed transmission, and it's gonna get swapped. But not today, it's food time.
Ah, morning. Sun's out, roosters are crowing, dogs are scampering about, and Roadkill's already struck because the pressure washer's dead.
Oh, I'm super frustrated. I don't know if we should speak right now.
He's super irritated.
For some reason, it does everything except flow water, which is kind of a critical function of a pressure washer.
All right, I'm gonna start degreasing while Dulcich sees if he can even make the pressure washer work, and if he can't, then I will just be hosing this thing off. Is it gonna work?
I don't know.
Is it fixed?
I hope so.
It's like it's regulated to the lowest pressure.
You don't know how much of a crushing blow that is.
2 hours later, we had to go get a brand new pressure washer, but I think it's gonna be just next level of sparkling goodness.
Yeah, mine was garbage.
Yeah.
Oh! Wow, that's cleaning up pretty good.
Oh yeah, nice. Here's what this engine is. It's a longtime veteran of the Engine Master show, and it's also been in a bunch of magazines, Carcraft and Hot Rod. This thing sat at West Tech Performance, our dyno shop, for 16 years. It's had 1 million laps on it on the dyno. This will be the first time it's ever been in a car. This thing is solid roller cam, CNC oval port heads. It's 454 inches with a 30 thousandths overbore. It makes 630 horsepower and 560 plus pound-feet of torque. Did you know that when you order a high output mechanical fuel pump, typically they look like this, kind of general aftermarket thing, and you can order different size inlets. Often they have a quarter pipe. This is 3/8 pipe. Sometimes they'll have like an AN fitting in there, but no matter how big that opening is, it doesn't matter because look really deep in there and you'll see that it's just a little tiny 1/4-inch hole either way. The hole is still dinky. Gearstar is the official transmission of Roadkill, which has made a lot of crazy things possible. Falls under the category of great parts on bad cars, which is what we do. This is a Gearstar 700R4 level 4, which means it can take 650 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque. This engine is just shy of that. This thing has a yank converter in it. I think it's going to be high stall. It's also got lockup, so it should be able to cruise on the highway. Whether it'll tow really well, that's another thing I didn't really break the news to Gearstar, so we may end up changing that later.
Wow, this is going to be the greatest trans install ever. Tell me when you think the height is correct. I want you to call it from there and be exactly on the money.
Oh, I will. Okay, go.
Really?
Yeah. I missed it by an inch. Go up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so un-Freiburger.
Well, you were stressing me out. It's going to clunk directly in place. Keep going. Half a pump and boom. Look, it says Gearstar, trusted by the best.
It is.
I wonder if they're calling us the best.
I thought they might be referring to us, but then I thought, nah, probably Tony and Lucky.
That's probably true.
Yeah, eventually this truck's going to need a suspension rebuild.
Nah.
Really?
Drum brakes, worn out bushings, 600 horsepower. It's the formula.
I can lie here in the space blanket. It'll be like a bedtime story.
Instructions. Remove the old purchase from the frame and cross member. Step 2, install the new purchase onto the frame and cross member.
That's pretty explicit. Okay guys, what we're doing is we're putting on new frame brackets that are going to accept the big block engine. But the thing is, there's not enough clearance in the frame as far as the width here to capture these bolt holes. So the frame needs a little bit of a notch. That's what victory looks like. We're in the tunnel.
He's coming up with the trans. Things are looking happier. It's gonna just plop right on the motor mounts.
I'm ready for a plop.
Man, we're throwing the headers in, it's going pretty well. These are a Hooker Competition Series coated 1 7/8 inch tube with a 2.5 inch collector. And with the CPP mounts, we've really only had to do a couple mods. Actually, really only one for the headers, which is what he's about to do, which is take a little semicircle out of the top of the frame where the C channel comes in. Like if the C channel's like this, in the top, he just needs to take a semicircle to clear one tube. I consider that a win as far as header fitment goes. It's on. This header's clearing.
Boom, bam.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Big block is installed.
pretty much.
It's getting cold in here, and I've got Dulcich down there doing the dirty work, making the trans cross member happen. Will it run today? We always promise that it will, and then it won't. Okay, I've got the engine on the #1 cylinder on the compression stroke. Now I'm gonna drop that in. Generally on these HEIs, this is right about like that once it's installed properly.
I've got to determine the drive shaft length because obviously the spacing is different with the different transmission. So that's going to mean that the front piece of the drive shaft or the front segment from here to here is going to be a different length. So I've installed the center carrier bearing back here because this is a 2-segment drive shaft, which we're going to measure right now. That's why the hanger bearing is bolted in place. And I'm going to measure right to the end of the output shaft, and I've got 31 3/8 inch.
I made the list, Dulcich, it's ugly.
It's long.
Brake line and fuel line off the header, drive shaft, fuel pump, fuel feed to the carburetor, throttle linkage, TV bracket, adjust the TV cable, vacuum fittings for the PCV and the lockup, wire the lockup, shift linkage, torque converter bolts, torque converter shield, oil filter, distributor gear, distributor hold down, exhaust system, parking brake cable.
Boy, you went through it pretty quick there, Freiburger.
Wait, wax.
Wax?
No?
What do you, wax what?
The truck.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we'd get the detail shop to take care of it for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, something's off the
cross that
list.
One of the things we're missing here is throttle linkage. It originally had a rod, not a cable, and it's got this arm connected to the gas pedal, which has to connect to the carburetor linkage. This piece of rod is going to get heated with an oxyacetylene torch and then run through that hole, come back at 90 degrees, and I'll make it parallel to the intake manifold or valve cover for aesthetics, and then it'll pick up this rod right about here, drop down, and we'll have the same 90-degree bend, cotter pin, done. To make this throttle linkage, I've got to have a 90-degree bend in the rod. This is going to be pretty easy. Just going to give that a nice cherry red. That's glowing. Now. There we go, 90 degrees.
That's wide open. Is the carb wide open?
Yeah, basically, that's somewhere in there. I'm going to put a coupling nut on here. I'll have to go to the hardware store for that.
Oh.
Yeah, but we need to get some other fasteners for the fan
Yeah.
here. Oh, this is a handy pointer. And we'll put the gear in the distributor here.
Yeah.
We need a spacer on the fan pulley. The alternator needs to be wired,
Yeah.
and then we'll complete the throttle linkage. You better be good.
Now we get to the kind of scary point where we have to put the TV cable on the 700R4 transmission. TV means throttle valve cable. A lot of people think that it's just a kick down. It isn't. What this cable does is regulates the pressure inside the transmission in direct proportion to your throttle position. So it also adjusts kick down as well as what your shift points are. Like when you're at light throttle, it should shift out of first gear into second at like 15 to 20 miles an hour. And if it's too loose, then it won't have enough pressure and it'll shift early and the transmission will explode. This cable is automatically adjusting, and here's how it works. We've got the cable snapped into the bracket right here, and then this little clip is going to go on this special bracket, and then I'm going to pull this clip up right here, and then we're going to adjust this throttle stop right up against this clip. Now here's where the automatic adjustment part is going to come. With this open, all I do is pull that like that, clip that down, and boom, there's my adjustment.
We had to have a whole new drive shaft built, and I'm about to go and install it.
This goes into the transmission. Hey, Freiburger, what kind of a center support bearing did you get?
Why?
It looks pretty nice.
Oh, okay. Woo!
Were you scared?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be it doesn't fit.
Okay, the front segment looks like it's perfect. Just gonna connect the rear segment to the yoke. Oh, look at that. Fits like it was made for it.
Man, this thing is virtually big blocked.
Do you see how good it looks?
It looks really nice, except for the fact that it's not yet done. I only have a few more things to do tonight. Lots and lots of boring wiring. Maybe by morning, this thing will be running with exhaust on it, right?
Depends if it fits or not, which is kind of a big question mark.
You're Dulcich, man. Make it fit.
Make it fit?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a challenge.
So, we're about 30 tacos from done. See you in the morning. We were here till 3:30 in the morning last night, and I feel like I've been run over by this truck. We couldn't fire it up because I lost the little collet for the oil gauge line. That one little thing the size of a grain of rice prevented us from firing this up.
What do you think, Freiburger? Will it start on the first turn?
Yep. Stop! Stop! Remember that fuel line that you tightened?
Which one?
The one that's leaking everywhere?
Oh, I tightened those.
Apparently not. No, you didn't.
How tight do you want to ramrod those?
Well, tighten at
those.
all. Anything more than finger tight would be a good
Oh,
thing.
I thought those were pre-tightened. Freiburger?
Yeah.
I have to commend you on a great job stabbing the distributor. It
Oh,
sounded-
thanks.
Now, If it turns out to have 35 degrees total advance,
I'll be a win.
I'll buy you a drink.
Wait.
No, really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Read it and weep.
Really? Wow. We don't even need this thing, do we?
Nailed it.
Yeah, I don't even know why I have that thing.
Okay, we have to drive it and make sure of the utmost importance that the TV cable is adjusted right.
Oh, that didn't work.
Rescue from failure. We actually put that transcooler on there. We were super proud of it and everything. And who could have seen that this lip on the hood actually folds right over this edge? So we're just gonna drop it down, zip tie it in place for now, and we'll fix it later, or never. Now we will dangle this from the bolt hole. Can't believe that we went through this whole installation of only using zip ties in a skilled and professional manner until this moment.
Oh, wow, it shuts perfectly now.
Yep. I think that's a little soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna adjust it. Step on the gas. Okay.
That's floored.
Okay. I messed with it a little bit. You want to give it a shot?
Whoa, this thing's got torque.
I know. I think it downshifted.
Oh yeah, it did.
Oil pressure good. Water temp perfect. Right on 160.
We're getting all 4 gears.
And they're not shifting too soon.
Yeah.
So I think we're there. I don't know how fast we can cruise and still smoke the tires from a roll.
We're 30 right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that.
Wow.
It just laid
Yeah.
patch.
Wow, it sure did. Wow.
Okay, so 30 is about the key. Ooh, I bet you our Brody capabilities are far improved.
How are you going to find out?
Oh, how would you help to find out?
Whoa! Man, this thing drifts so nicely.
And still smells just as bad. Well, this is going to be our first test. We're actually going to put our small truck on our tow truck and find out if it'll tow. Once again, I've got the wrong torque converter. My fault. It's got the wrong cam. It's got the wrong everything for a tow vehicle, but we're going to try it anyway because we're roadkill.
Big giant roller cam, loose converter. Well, it's not like any tow rig that I've ever used, but
This is a bad idea.
yeah, I know. It's not a good idea. You know what we need to do is look at that bumper.
Yeah, that too.
It's sagging down.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This isn't going to make it. This bumper cannot take it. So I think our plans are foiled. Literally the bumper's bending and coming off the truck. So obviously we're going to need a whole lot more upgrades before we can make this happen. Want to go do donuts?
Sounds like a plan. This is a fail for
This
sure.
is a total fail. And did you hear how bad the converter's slipping, just backing the thing up?
Yeah. Look at the sag.
So don't count on Roadkill Garage to teach you how to build a tow truck. But if you want a 600 horsepower truck that does hella burnouts, you've come to the right place. Dude! Wow. Wow. I actually didn't expect that. It would have kept going. I lifted because I could tell you were starting to panic.
No, yeah, I did.
So the C10 doesn't end up being the tow vehicle that I hoped it would be. It just has too much camshaft and too loose of a converter. But even with those racy parts, I love the truck. It's a way better driver than you might think. It cruises 80 miles an hour at just 2,200 RPM thanks to that Gearstar overdrive. It cruises in traffic easily too and doesn't even overheat. I don't mind the manual steering or the manual brakes. It turns out that the 67 C10 is nearly perfectly engineered in stock trim. It only needs 600 horsepower in overdrive to make it an ideal cruiser. And it smokes them for distance almost as well as the Crusher Impala. Even so, I admit I'm probably going to put in a hydraulic cam instead of the solid, and it needs a tighter converter. But if you ever see it on Roadkill Garage again, it'll be in the background as a driver, parts chaser, maybe even as a tow truck. But the real question is if you will ever see that short bed again, ready for 200 miles an hour. And the only way to find out is to stick with us here at Roadkill Garage.
All right, I'm at the point of mandatory and optional steps to get this thing running by late today so that we can be cruising it around tomorrow before we have to go back to actual work. Mandatory drive shaft. Hopefully that's coming in later today. Fuel feed, that tends to be mandatory, and we're both still hoping that that mechanical fuel pump actually works since it's questionable. I'm making a priority list, still check.
Oh, everything?
Fans, cooler lines. Hey, the optional list is not very big.
I know. Everything is mandatory.